You owe me $50, but I'll accept that in Bitcoin, Feathercoin, Litecoin, or Kanye West.
LTAT. Good mythical morning.
What is this worth to you, Link?
I'd say $20, Rhett.
And why is that worth to you, $20?
Because it says 20 on it.
And why does that matter to you? Why is it valuable to you?
Because the person I give it to get the thing I want also agrees that it's what I'm getting from them is worth $20.
That's currency. That's currency. Class dismissed. No, okay. All right. So
I'm a current dude.
You may know that we went off the gold standard at some point in the United States of America, meaning that a dollar does not represent some actual gold somewhere.
Fort Knox.
Now it is just the government says this is worth $20. Okay, and enough people agree and it becomes worth something and other governments agree, you get it. Now, Cryptocurrency. You probably heard lots about Bitcoin. Everybody's talking about Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that. You gotta invest in Bitcoin if you wanna get rich like Harvard. You hear about Harvey? He bought a Bitcoin and now he's a millionaire. That's what I heard back home when I was in North Carolina over Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, Bitcoin's this, Bitcoin's that. And so I'm like, well, what is this stuff? I hear it in the news. It's called cryptocurrency. Now, the key difference between $20, yep,
we forgot that.
And cryptocurrency is the fact that this is backed by a central government. In other words, there's a bank. You can have it, sure, it's fake. It's worth nothing to me because it's not backed up by gold. No, I want that back. There's a central bank, a government-backed bank that has created that money, right? That issues that money.
Yes.
And so the stable thing like the United States government says that this is worth a certain thing, but cryptocurrency, it's just like me and you on the side and we're like, hey, you wanna start some money?
Yeah, man, I've been thinking I wanna start money.
We can call it Rhett and Link dollars or Rhett and Link coin.
I don't have a printer, so that's
we don't even need that. It can just all be totally digital, man.
Bingo.
We'll call it Rhett and Link coin and it'll be totally digital. And me and you will decide how many of it's gonna be made and what it's worth.
What about just Link coin?
I don't want to do that. Let's make it Rhett and Link coin. We're stronger together, buddy. Stick with me here. And then we go out and we say, hey, you guys want to invest in Rhett and Link coin? You want some Rhett and Link coin? And
we call it Link coin for short.
Hey, this guy over here, we convinced this guy over here to sell his feed for his horses in Rhett and Link coin. He's accepting Rhett and Link coin.
Feed people.
And then all of a sudden, you've got this network of users who've all agreed that Rhett and Link coin is worth something, and then it becomes worth something. Does that make sense? It's basically worth something because people have agreed, in a network, have agreed that it is worth something, but it's just digital.
So seriously, what we're doing right now is we're giving you guys an opportunity to be involved in a ground floor of a great.
No, that's not what's happening. Because believe it or not, we actually have a sponsor. I went behind your back and I generated an actual cryptocurrency sponsor for this episode about cryptocurrency.
Okay.
And I'm not making it up. It's not Rhett and Link coin, it's Feathercoin. We are being sponsored by Feathercoin, which is another cryptocurrency, not Bitcoin.
Feathercoin.
Better.
Is that why every time you say Feathercoin or I hear the word Feathercoin, I hear a cha-ching?
Yes, when I say Feathercoin, there is a sound of money being put in our pockets that comes.
So you're being serious?
Feathercoin is our sponsor. You want me to tell you about Feathercoin?
Yes, I'd love for you to tell me all about
Feathercoin. Feathercoin is a global digital currency not backed by any bank or institution. This gives users complete control of their wealth. At its core is a community that welcomes people in and helps further understanding and acceptance of Feathercoin. Join them on their forum at feathercoin.com. Now listen, it's different than Bitcoin because it focuses heavily on getting users where most seem to just chase investors. The plus for Feathercoin is that we are cheaper and faster. Minimum fee for Feathercoin is 0.00215, and for Bitcoin it's 0.0853. There's a difference there. And Feathercoin transactions are 2.5 minutes compared to Bitcoin 10 minutes.
It's also magic. Feathercoin. But yeah, well, I mean, so I need some sort of real world examples of this thing working.
Okay, well, the one that's been in the news so much up until this point, of course, is Bitcoin. That's what I heard when I was back in North Carolina. And Harvey got rich off Bitcoin. On May 22nd, 2010, Laszlo Hanyecks
know him.
Agreed to give a guy in England 10,000 Bitcoins if the guy ordered him a pizza from Laszlo's local Papa John's and had it delivered. And Laszlo Laszlo later makes me want to cry just thinking about the first Bitcoin purchase. Laszlo later uploaded the photo as proof, and this was the first real-world Bitcoin transaction. Now, those 10,000 Bitcoins today would be worth $8 million. That was an $8 million pizza. Now, it blows your mind. You're like, I don't understand. That's crazy. A pizza can't be worth $8 million. But you got to understand that this is back in 2010, before there was interest in Bitcoin, before the world had their eyes on Bitcoin. And the more people who are into a specific cryptocurrency, the more its value goes up. So now it's just crazy. But at the time, 10,000 Bitcoins, I don't know, it's like $10, whatever the current price was. That's not all. The police chief of Vico, Kentucky, population 300,
small town,
asked to receive his salary in Bitcoin, and the city complied. So there's a police chief in Kentucky who's getting his salary in Bitcoin. Now that's a progressive police chief.
Or a risk.
Yeah.
It's a big risk.
James Howells of Newport, Wales, an early adopter to Bitcoin, had 7,500 Bitcoins on a hard drive. And then without thinking, he threw the hard drive into the trash. And now those hard drives are worth about $6 million. And it's in a landfill somewhere.
Oh, I was like, get him out of the trash,
dude.
And
this guy is talking to the manager of the landfill, and he still goes back and forth on whether or not to search the landfill, because it's just like a hard drive somewhere in this huge landfill. But this dude has millions of dollars sitting there. And you're like, how can you have millions of dollars on a hard drive? Well, I ask you the question, don't you have millions of dollars in your bank account that you have at your bank? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Like, do you really have $1 million stacked somewhere, or do you have an institution somewhere that when you log in is like a number in a digital place that people have just agreed is worth something, right? It's not really that different. It's just a government is also saying, yes, we are going to back this up. But more and more recently, governments are beginning to recognize that this is a valid form of currency. If someone accepts it, and someone is willing to buy goods and services with it, it's worth something, right?
So the Kentucky town, they get Bitcoin, they buy Bitcoin. They actually take the salary they would give him in dollars, and they go somewhere and they buy Bitcoin and then credit the Bitcoin to him. So there are dollars going into purchasing Bitcoin.
I don't exactly know. I'm not in contact with the Kentucky Police Department, but I mean, there's two ways to do it.
But conceivably, they got it.
You and I can go to different networks, and like there's one called Coinbase where you can basically exchange dollars for Bitcoin if you want to. It's over $800 right now. But you can go and I think you can buy fractions of a Bitcoin. You don't even have to buy one whole Bitcoin. But you can also mine Bitcoin. And this is very confusing, and you should probably read some articles from people who are a lot smarter than I am to explain this. But basically,
I'm not gonna do it.
It's a digital way to represent the process of producing a currency. And they set it up so that you get a computer that runs these crazy calculations, and then you qualify to potentially be one of the people who gets a Bitcoin or a certain number of Bitcoins that are spit out every so often on a fixed schedule, so that a certain amount of this currency will be produced. 21 million Bitcoins will be produced over the life of the currency, never anymore. Unlike the dollar, which you've got in your pocket now, which can be just printed over and over and over again, and we have inflation.
So it's a digital simulation of like mining for gold, and you get coins.
Right, or you can just go straight and take your dollars and buy it. And you can make a bunch of money, because if people start speculating about this and all of a sudden all this interest goes in, the value of Bitcoin could go up 1,000%. That's not gonna happen with a dollar. And of course it can also go down.
And there's a site where you can buy real stuff with your Feather coin.
Oh yeah.
Feather coin specifically.
Yes.
Okay, you know what time it is.
Hey guys, my name is Jack, I'm from Ecuador, and it's time for the Wheel of Mythicality.
We're gonna be discussing even more about cryptocurrency and good mythical more, including
we might get in a fight.
Kanye West. That's the latest cryptocurrency, Kanye West.
Click through to Good Mythical More, and then check out our Twitter account, twitter.com/RentLink. You'd be amazed at the stuff that we put over there
buddy.
Exclusively. I dare you to not be amazed.
Abort ending. Abrupt ending.
Now, if I could will sound effects in my everyday conversation, I would certainly invest in that. Matter of fact, I'd pay you $20 right now if you can make that happen.